The big open secret is that these are all disinfo shill junkies. I searched Whitney Webb. I'm not seeing much on her. There's this other guy they're pushing. He's showing up on Convo Couch. He's in contact with Jimmy Dore. He's pushing the Boogaloo Boys. This is some weird stuff. You look at these people and it becomes very obvious that they are COINTELPRO. Craig Pastaface is a drunk, washed up disinfo clown. He triggers himself. They all do. This guy, Frank Analysis, there's no info on him. There's no info on any of these people. They give you a point of departure, and you're supposed to accept it. Whitney Webb is some independent journalist. Yeah, right. She wasn't placed. She's not a plant. So yeah, what they're doing is they push people like me out. I was all over Nomiki Konst years ago on Twitter, and I actually sleuthed her and found her promoting something called the Truman Project. I linked up Daily Cost people to Truman Project too. So I was all over Cenk Uygur years ago. All over everything before these other people then show up years later saying, oh yeah, Nomiki Konst and Cenk Uygur are fakes. They're the fake left. Right. And you're the real left? Luke Rudkowski is now a regular on Tin Pool. It's right and left, and both sides are controlled by disinfo junkies who have no skill, who have no resume, who have nothing to back why they are in our mugs, why they matter. There's no proof. Lee Camp was placed. He was a nobody. You can find him doing a little stand-up here and there, and he sucked. There's nothing funny about him. He was making fun of a homeless guy because a dog was wearing a sweater. He said dogs are sweaters. Look at Graham Elwood. He's got one basic whiny pitch voice, and he can't do anything else. If he's such a comedian, then where's his routine? He's not funny. So he's got one voice. He's a whiny man. I'm the whiny man. Lee Camp is deteriorating in real time. Goodman is done. He knows it. I bet half the people watching H.A. Goodman are doing it to watch him fall apart. Because it's beautiful to watch bad people fall apart. It's actually quite entertaining. This is called the train wreck era. Since everything is rigged and fake, we might as well enjoy the Schadenfreude. All these people are linked. They link themselves. They do it to themselves. I noticed today that while I was providing a wake and bake news service yesterday, Elizabeth Hurley was talking up wake and bake. That sort of thing kind of freaks me out a little bit. I'm not sure if it's a coincidence or what's going on. Am I psychic? Is it a coincidence? Am I being gaslighted? I don't know. But I found that a little interesting to wake up today. So I'm avoiding the bake part today because I'm a little freaked out. I'm not so quick to go to the bake part. I'm awake, obviously. F it. Let's bake this thing up. I got one of those cheap lighters. The cheapos. The great thing about weed is you don't really have to worry about the tolerance stuff. Just don't smoke it all the time. Appreciate it. The key is to just get a little bit of a buzz. It's not to get wiped out. That's where the COINTELPRO stooges ruined it for themselves. They had no willpower, they had no discipline. Back in the day, we used to do all of our work, and then if it was done, we would smoke it up and watch Dave Letterman. Because it was fresh, it was exciting. We didn't know the medium was dead. We thought the medium was the answer. Now we're seeing decades later that the medium is a trap. All these guys look like military. This Frank guy. Nico House is probably military. I sleuthed him a little bit a couple years ago. He's got some type of criminal history. Jimmy Dore's in on it. Lee Camp is in on it. Ken Poole, H.A. Goodman are in on it. It takes the two sides to put it together. It's looping. You get the right and the left. There's no nuance or subtlety. There's no in between. There's no way to become a part of either side without being a fake. One must be compromised. If you're a drug addict, you'll probably get pushed by this COINTELPRO network. But if you're honest, if you're independent, forget it. They'll not let you in. They do not care about you. They will not allow it. So these fake left people, they're military, they're COINTELPRO. They want you to hate Ocasio-Cortez. They want you to, however, still care about politics. I'm saying, if you don't believe in Bernie, if you don't believe in Ocasio-Cortez, then why are you even still talking about anything to do with politics? That's where they don't add up. And if you watch carefully, you can see them gaslighting themselves. Maybe I should break this stuff down better. It sort of becomes too much work because you have to edit out the part that you're responding to. Right now I'm on the Audacity part, so I'm speaking, I'm free. But if I start to try to figure out how to combine this with that and talk about it and make it look really good and flow, that takes a very long time. So earlier I was talking about Graham Elwood having that weird voice and being very limited with his shtick. So now I have to push that into it. I have to somehow crunch the video into that part of my speaking. Or I tend to be very lazy and just put it on in the background. They all talk about Batman. You know what else they have? They have a system where they fake nod their heads. And that's how they get through shows. They don't even have to really listen too closely to the other person. They're shaking their head. The funny thing is that these morons, and they're everywhere in all aspects of life, but they tend to not be able to think for themselves. So they'll get some type of power presentation sheet, and it'll say, show agreement with your co-host. Say, yeah. So you literally, or figuratively, I can never wrap my head around, the left is because it's an L. Your hand makes an L. That's the only way I know what my left hand is, because otherwise I'd have to think about it a little bit. Or maybe not, but it's sort of an example of the digression. Where were we? So yes, they give it away through their body movements. Someone will say something, and there'll be an alternative double entendre, like Three's Company type moment. Like, did he or she just say that? And what did that mean then? Well, they could have meant this, but they could have meant that. So if you watch these people, you're basically just viewing for the train wreck because you can't really debate with them. There's nothing to grow there. They're working off of whatever agenda they have cooking. Before it was like this force the vote. They're trying to drive a wedge between progressives and the few people in power who represent them. They're really pushing the cynicism toward Ocasio-Cortez. They used to do that to Bernie. They probably still do it to Bernie, but I don't care. I care about Bernie and Ocasio, but I actually am not a hypocrite, so when I feel that everything is rigged, I'm not going to keep watching it and following it as if it matters. These other people are in a reverse double bind. They can't get away with being paid fakes because that's what they are. That's the implicate order to their being, to their representation on the internet. They can't hide it. And they're not very smart to begin with. Good, smart people tend to live out lives. They don't end up as confidential informants, which is what these people are. There's a reason why they all look all drugged up. That's not a coincidence.